Now, one of the most common questions I get about my garage is how do I heat it in the winter? Now, this garage is 11 meters long by 3.8 meters wide and about 3 meters high to the peak of the ceiling. I used, at the time of filming, I used 2 heaters to heat this garage. I use a Maxpeedingrods Heater that is plumbed into the outside in a weatherproof box, and I use that to tick the garage over once I've got it warm. I'll leave a link to the fitting of that Maxpeedingrods Heater in the description of this video. But when I first come in the garage, to get the garage warm within 5 minutes, I use this heater. This heater is a SIP Fireball, and it's a 74X RDT heater. And this is a ceramic heater, so it doesn't blow heat out like a hairdryer. It kind of radiates heat like a radiator. You can't put your hand in front of it when it's on. This front bit glows red hot. Now, these heaters are quite expensive. This was £450. This is a second heater. The first heater I got from SIP was leaking diesel. This runs on diesel. All my heaters run on diesel. I prefer diesel over electric. I run them on diesel, not kerosene. Diesel is easier to get hold of for me. This is the second heater. The first heater was leaking diesel. This heater is less than a year old. This still has its problems. Now, when you first light this, sometimes it doesn't light. Then when it lights, it does throw out a giant flame out the front. That's one thing I don't like about it. The other thing is, when it lights, it puts out a big puff of smoke. So you've got to open your garage door, let the smoke out, because you don't want to be breathing in diesel fumes. It's very bad for you. So on the back of the heater, you've got an on-off switch, just there, and you've got a thermostat control. Now, this thermostat control is absolutely no use, because what happens is, when you first turn it on, it blows heat, it gets warm, it hits a thermostat and cuts out. If you set it to 20 degrees, it would hit 20 degrees, then the heater will cut out, as it should. But then the problem starts. The heater is warm, so the thermostat inside gets warmer, so literally your garage will be freezing, and you need to wait for this full unit to cool down before the thermostat will kick back in. SIP also say you get about, I'm not exactly sure, but between 6 and 8 hours of run time on a tank of diesel. Don't think you will get that. I'm thinking you would maybe get 3 or 4 hours, if that. It does plough through the diesel. When I come in my garage, I turn this on for about 5 minutes, it heats up the garage extremely quick. I then switch over to the Maxpeedingrods diesel heater, and that just ticks the garage over, keeps the chill off and keeps us warm. But like I say, I am not happy with this heater. I'm not happy with the fact it blows heat, it blows a flame out. I'm also not happy with the fact it blows smoke out when I first started, because when I started, I have to open the garage door, which defeats the point of having a heater on. So I have just got this heater. Now, these heaters are a lot cheaper than the ceramic heaters by SIP. They're a lot more common as well. This is called a Torpedo Hater. That's kind of the generic name for them. So let's take it out of the box and give it a go. I'm hoping this one won't smoke on startup. And another thing I don't like about the SIP heater is, when you turn it off at the switch at the back, you have to leave it running. It runs for 5 minutes on a timer, and the fan just blows and blows down the front, the ceramic cover at the front, before you can turn it off. It has to do this cycle where it cools down for 5 minutes, blows its fan, cools it all down. These Torpedo heaters, you turn it off and it goes off, quick and easy. So let's take out this Hyundai heater and see if it's better than that SIP one that was £450, a lot more expensive than the Torpedo heaters. So when I was looking at the Torpedo heaters, I wanted literally the smallest BTUs I could find. The BTUs is how much heat it puts out. This one is a 70,000 BTU heater, and hopefully it's nice and small. I don't want a big heater in my garage. So let's lift it out. So if you're like me and you struggle for space in your garage, straight away you can see the size difference between the SIP ceramic heater. This is the smallest heater they do. They do bigger sizes, and you can see the size difference with the Torpedo heater. This is the smallest heater Hyundai do, there is a smaller heater. There's also obviously bigger ones, but for my garage, should be more than enough to heat my garage and take the chill off. So you can see on the back of the Hyundai heater, we've got a fuel level and a fuel filler. So let's put some fuel in and fire it up. So the reason I picked the Hyundai heater is we've got a bigger Hyundai heater at work and it heats a big factory in about an hour on a cold day. So that already impressed us. And I've got a lot of Hyundai stuff in my garage and the quality seems absolutely spot on. And with regards to fuel, you can run the Torpedo Heater, the ceramic heater and the Maxpeedingrods Heater on kerosene, but I use diesel. It's more accessible for me, although kerosene is cheaper. But let's fire up this new Hyundai heater and see how it goes. Now that heater is probably chucking out about the same amount of heat as the ceramic heater. One of the reasons people prefer the ceramic heater is they are a bit quieter. So let's open a noise app on my phone like a decibel meter and we'll see just the difference in the volumes between the two heaters. Off the belt, that Torpedo Heater is definitely louder than the ceramic heater. So my phone is saying that Torpedo Heater, when I'm not talking, is just under 80 decibels. When I stop talking, you'll see it'll drop. Then when I talk, it goes up a bit. So that's saying that Torpedo Heater, just as warm as the ceramic heater, is kicking out just under 80 decibels. It's getting very warm in here, so we'll knock that Torpedo Heater off and we'll try the SIP ceramic heater. So that is the Hyundai heater. Let's now turn on the SIP ceramic heater. Hopefully it'll start first time. There's the fan. There's the fuel pump driving. Now that SIP ceramic heater is a lot quieter. I can notice the difference straight away. So let's have a look on the decibel meter on my phone. Just under 70 decibels with the SIP ceramic heater. It is about the same amount of heat, but like I say, the reliability issues for me for these ceramic heaters, it's not worth it. It throws out fireballs and it takes a long time to turn off, so that's why I've changed to the Torpedo Heater. Now let's turn the SIP ceramic heater off and I'll show you what I mean about the fan running for it to cool down. So can you hear the fan running there? That is cooling down the front plate. Now even though it's called a ceramic heater, I believe that is just steel. It's a bit of steel plate and there's some kind of flame behind it. I'm not exactly sure of the science behind it. But like I say, this heater will now run for about 5 minutes, still kicking out heat there, and the fan is just cooling the full heater down. So while that cools down, I'll show you the Maxpeedingrods heater I've got plumbed up outside the garage. Right, let's go around the back of the garage. Then up here in this box we've got the Maxpeedingrods, I think it's called like a leisure heater. And you can see it in there, it's all plumbed in. This has been out here for about a year and it's been absolutely faultless. And we've got the exhaust there, and this is the inlet for the engine, for the combustion. Then there is the inlet for the air that goes in the garage. And there's the outlet that goes into the garage with the heat. So we'll close this up. So we'll go back inside the garage and we'll start that heater up and I'll show you how that works. You see the fan is still running on this SIP heater as well. So up here, this is the heat that comes from outside from the Maxpeedingrods heater. Here's a diesel tank. We've got a pump there, and if we come around to my car, I run it off a car battery. So we'll just clip these wires onto the battery. Right, so there's the wires clipped on and it's running off a car battery. The car battery is always connected to one of these C-Tech chargers, so it never ever goes flat. I don't need to worry about the battery. So to start the Maxpeedin heater, literally we've got a little remote here. You press on. That's it starting up. It takes about 5 minutes to kick in and it blows about the same amount of heat out as a hairdryer. So if you want to know if one of these would power your garage, go inside, pinch your las's hairdryer and leave it on and see how it heats your garage up, because it's about the same amount of power as a hairdryer. It doesn't use much diesel at all, cheap to run, cheap to buy, apart from if you're putting it in a waterproof box outside. Like I say, if you are interested in one of the Maxpeeding heaters, I'll leave a link below where you can check those out. You can see the heater's got a screen there, and you've got power levels you can go toggle up and down with. On the remote there you've got plus to make it a bit warmer, minus to make it a bit cooler, and you've got on and off. So there you can hear the fuel pump ticking, and if we turn the temperature up so you want more heat out, you'll hear the fuel pump will tick faster. Just press up, you hear it? So all it's doing to get more temperature out the heater is it's pumping in more diesel. Pretty straightforward. To turn it off, you press off. It says bye bye, and it takes about 5 minutes while it blows all the heat out the heater. It takes 5 minutes to go off. I hope you found that useful, fellas. I will leave links to all the heaters. Personally, I wouldn't recommend the SIP ceramic one. They are a lot more expensive than the Torpedo Haters. I think they're probably going to use more petrol, more fuel, more diesel, more kerosene, whatever you're running. And they're not as reliable. And they take longer to turn on and off for all to throw out the same amount of heat. If you've got any more questions, leave them in the comments of this video. But yet again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.